Character design is one of the many aspects of art and design. Character design is used for movies, animation, video games, and even picture books. But comics and webcomics is where I use character design the most. Hello, I am Artsume Shae. I am a digital artist, content, and comic creator. I have my own webcomic, Space Ultima. On my channel, you can find many videos talking about my artistic process, so if that interests you, keep watching. In this video today, I'm going to go over what I know about character design so far, and it's really just going to be a casual chat while you view the drawing progress of my own comic characters. Now, of course, there will be topics throughout, so hopefully you get a good sense of just how I use the character design principles. That way you can use it for yourself. So the first aspect of character design is going to be really utilizing your color theory. So color schemes are a really big help. It is an added level of backstory for your character. So with Sophie, she has the cool tone color scheme. So your blues, your greens, your purples, those are all colors that are typically aligned with, calmness, stability, things that really align with her character as a whole. She is very, does things by the book. She thinks before she acts, and those are just some traits that really align with that color. When she's next to characters that maybe have an opposite color scheme, like Zan, for example, then she really stands out just like he also stands out. His colors are, yellows, reds, oranges, those colors that are more fiery, the warm tone colors that can convey something of a more rebellious spirit when it comes down to his character. So those are really things that you want to lean in on. Those characters have a story to tell, and colors are the first thing that we see for most people, and that can really help tell a story and kind of immediately give you an idea of if this character is good or if they're bad. Think for example, the color red is, passion, but also red is sometimes associated with, dark things or evil things. You think of blood being red. But funny enough, like for example, the Disney villains very rarely use red to depict their, intentions. Think for example, Ursula. Her color scheme is black and purple, and then she's got a very kind of pale color for her skin. Those are colors like, greens, for example. These colors are not red, but because of their pairings, those colors will depict a certain intention, and it'll also tell people more about your character before you even read their words or hear them speak. The next thing I think about when it comes to your character design is going to be your character's shape language. Now this, depending on your art style, could look a little bit different. The first thing I think of with shape language, if you were to completely black out your characters and see the silhouettes of your characters, are they all going to look the same or are they all going to look different? Think of your, Western cartoons. You've got things like Gravity Falls or things like, The Simpsons. These are probably the most exaggerated of the examples, but they still do a good job of exercising just how a character's shape and silhouette and body can help portray that character's personality. So that's something that I think is important. Think about, for my story, Gruss, he is this large, beastly character. He's big, muscular, and honestly pretty intimidating when he is squaring up against his foes. But what he doesn't show is also his kindness, his stability, his, protective personality. And that's kind of interesting. That's like one, shape, one large character, large beastly character that can kind of play two parts. So that's the cool thing about it. It's like, it's going to be a shape that is going to fit your own narrative. Now, maybe you don't have, as exaggerated of body types as, say, the cartoons. That's okay. You can use shape language with a character's hairstyles. If you have a character that's, rebellious or maybe a little bit spunky and chaotic, maybe they have spiky hair. Or if you have somebody who's very elegant and, kind of demure, which demure is obviously a very popular word, but I promise it existed before the meme did. But somebody who is more collected. Maybe their hairstyle is going to be more, calm and flowing or straight and long. So those are just things to think about. Making sure that amongst your characters, they don't all have the same cookie cutter look will really help them go far. And last but certainly not least, give your character a unique accent. Now, unique accent is going to look like really anything at all. Just one thing that really can make your character unique and help them stand out amongst your other characters or even any other story out there. So this is going to be kind of up to you. It can be a visual thing such as their eye color. It can be something having to do with their hairstyle. It could just be their anatomy, or it could be something that they carry around. So for example, we've got Sophie, who she has two kind of little hair antennas on each side of her face. That is something that really has kind of been around almost since day one. When I redesigned her character to closer to what she is now, I really wanted just something to make her stand out, to be unique, to be different, and something that no matter how I draw her, no matter what outfit I draw her in, she's always going to have some variation of those two little, tendril, those little hair pieces coming down the side of her face. With Zan, especially if he's really just around Sophie, it's his pointy ears. With, Faye, for example, it's gonna be her horns. These are things that if you have all the characters collected, none of them are going to have, most of the time, two of the same things. So for you, this could be maybe a staff that your mage walks around with all the time that is kind of bent, kind of curved in a weird way that, maybe has its own little backstory behind why it's like that. Maybe your character has two different eye colors. Just something that is a part of them that really will be kind of a visual thing that when someone reads your story, they, can kind of remember, oh, this is something that is very unique to them. And they'll always be able to recognize that character no matter what they're wearing, no matter, what pose they're in, even if they are only a silhouette. They'll be able to look at that character and say, oh, that is, insert name here. So there you have it. Those are some of the ways that I use character design and some of the ways that I just really like to express how my characters are drawn in my story. Comment down below what your absolute favorite character design is of all time. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe for more videos like this. You can check out my webcomic Space Ultima on WEBTOON Canvas and the Inkverse app. If you want to see what else I'm up to, you can follow me at Artsume_Shae on Instagram. And I also have an Instagram devoted to my webcomic at Space Ultima. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!